Welcome to Chaos Cocktails and Chapters. Welcome to Chapters.
Chapters and Shop.
Welcome to Chapters, Chaos, and Cocktails. I'm Maddie.
And I'm Kylie.
And today we're going to be reviewing the book Summer in the City by Alex Aster. Wow, that was exciting!
A quick little synopsis of this book. New York native, Elle, runs into this guy at a club right before she moves to LA. She ends up making out with him. Nothing happens. Cut to 2 years later. Elle is visiting New York again from LA, moves into an apartment, meets the same guy from the club. They never show that they know each other. He's a screenwriter, and he's a tech CEO of this very popular company that is up for sale for $10 billion. And they go on these series of dates where they're fake dating. She needs to go to all of these New York sites to be featured in her new screenplay. And he accompanies her, and in return, she's going to all of these very high-end events as his date so that he can be featured with someone
To get press.
to get press.
It doesn't seem like Playboy.
It doesn't seem like Playboy. And of course, with any romance,
They fall in love after fake dating. She ends up having some issues with him, and it's the fact that he has a lot of money. She ends up breaking up with him at the end of the summer and moving back to LA. A year and like 8 months passes, and they end up back together in New York City.
hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I wanted to give a good idea.
Well, they did the synopsis. Now what?
Let's break down the book. First, we're going to give our pros of this book. What was good to you, Maddie?
So I loved, honestly, the first like 70% of the book I thought was great. I really enjoyed the idea of dating a billionaire, and he just buys you because he wants to. The gifts, the money,
A $50 million necklace that he doesn't give her, but like lets her wear for photos.
He's 6'4" and hot.
Those are my guys.
I think
Tall
that's
guy.
it.
His friend, he's rich, tall,
Rich, tall, and hot.
I'm looking for a guy in finance.
There wasn't any like negative trope with the guy. Like there wasn't any like other girl or like past relationships he was never seen with the same woman. But like none of that came up in the relationship. So I really liked the relationship. I thought it was really healthy.
Except for the girl. The girl Elle, the main character Elle, was really unhealthy.
What did you like?
My pros, it's a really cute book. The banter was bantering. The couple had a lot of really good back and forth banter. And I think it all stemmed from like she hated him in the beginning, and
But the enemies still love her.
Yeah, realistically, I think she was just really like she really liked him from their one encounter at the club 2 years before, and she had never really gotten over him. And she met for like 10 minutes at a club, and she used the man as her motivation to like do well in her career.
Yeah, like her muse.
Her hatred coming through was really good and playful in the book. He was always steady, you know, like you love a steady man where he's like, I love her, I want to be with
And
her,
he was so
and he's
confident,
I'm gonna make this happen.
Yeah, and she was rejecting him left and right. He was still like, yeah, I'm here. Like I'm into it. I still want to date you.
Without being too pushy, you know, like
without being pushy. She would say like, oh yeah, but this is pretend, and he would be like, you would just
He'd be
ignore
like,
it, or
yeah,
like
sure,
you would like just.
it was obviously not fake dating
Yeah,
for him.
for him.
Lots of tropes in this book. There was like forced proximity with them being neighbors. There was fake dating on Elle's part, but Parker, the main guy, was very much not fake dating from the start. And
I love
there was
it.
enemies to lovers. Like there are a lot of really good tropes.
I love a good trope. I love a good trope.
Yeah. The adventures that they went on were really good. Him taking her to an art auction, never seen that in a book before. Him and her like going on their pizza expedition throughout New York City was really good.
This is one thing I want to say about that. Like I feel like the writing by Alex Aster was phenomenal, stunning, like descriptive writing. I loved hearing like the way she was describing like how each pizza tasted, and like because you know like you have a pizza and it tastes like a pizza, it's cheesy and delicious. You're not going to get much further than that. But she was like they went to several different pizza restaurants, and she was able to describe like
the environment, like how the cooks looked, and like
And
the linen on the table,
how each pizza was different, like how each one tasted.
on
Like
the pizza.
I was really impressed with that because I feel like that can be a difficult thing for writers, and I do like commend her writing,
especially for romance books, because it's not like you're not like building a new world. It's like for romance, you're in this world. There were really great aspects of the book. That bird is so loud.
What an obnoxious word.
Calm down. There's a bird feeder over there.
Get out of here.
Scram.
Let's get into cons because I feel like our rating of this book is not as good as it might sound after all those pros. Because it had a lot of cons too, let's be honest.
There were a lot of contradicting factors in the book. Like, oh my gosh, that bird is so loud. Let me look at my notes. No, I'm not ready. Finish ready. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. There is a point of this book. Proposed to Ella, the girl. Elle proposed to Ella, the girl, by renting out
A
area
street,
of
like
New
a
York.
street of New York.
Yeah. I'm wet. WHET wet.
I could get behind the character. I'm talking to my wine glass again.
Elle was quoting her mom and saying like, "We are strong. We can get through anything. We don't need anyone else." Meaning like she doesn't need a man, and she projected her independence and like not needing men onto Elle. And Elle, that's a theme throughout the book, is like Elle doesn't need a man because her mom raised her to not be a man, and I could see that.
Her mom raised her not to be a man.
Her mom raised her to be
Not
independent
to
and
rely
not,
on a man. Like even Penelope called her like the most money obsessed that like of any person she's ever met.
But only towards the end. Like it was such a relief at like the second to last chapter for Penelope to finally call out Elle
For being so money obsessed.
It was unhealthy how much she disliked
People who had money.
When she found out he was the CEO of this very popular up and coming tech company, her words were, "I hope this tech bubble pops and your stupid startup dies a slow, painful death." And that's what she told to this guy that she had just made out with in a stairwell. And so, like, I think that sets the tone for the book. A recurring theme throughout the book is like Parker holding her hand and drawing circles on her hand. He touches him back, even a little bit, he stiffens up. It's kind of
Like every single time she touches it.
he never anticipates reciprocation. I haven't talked about the proposal yet. Okay,
Okay,
so
my real beef with the whole book starts at this point.
The book is great.
I was giving it 5 stars. I was feeling the emotions. I was feeling the love until this moment.
Towards the end of the summer, the main character Elle starts to push away. He kind of anticipates them having a future past the summer. There's all this like back and forth of like, well, I'm moving, and he's like, but I thought you were gonna stay. And then she never said that she was going to stay.
Exactly. And he takes her to a little like section of the city where he has like blocked it off. He's like paid people to block it off. And then he proposes to her, and he proposes to her with 94 rings.
94 engagement rings, because that's how many days they've been together. And this girl throughout the whole book has proved that she's like low-key and doesn't like money. She's low-key and doesn't like money, and she said it over and over again how she has issues with money because of her dad.
And he proposed to her
with an engagement ring for every day they've known each other.
Literally, they've known each other. Like, they've been dating for 94 days.
Not even dating. Fake dating. It's the 94 rings that blows my mind.
Honestly, they're like, that whole part of the story, like, it just kind of like cheapens it. If they're gonna get engaged after a summer, like they've been dating for a summer, you know this is not the woman that you're trying to impress with money. She panicked when you pulled out the $1 million diamond.
Also in the book, he bought her a whole coffee chain because it was her favorite, and they stopped carrying the scones that she liked, and she didn't like it, and he knew that she didn't like it, and so like, he knew she was low key and she wanted to be independent.
Anytime this man bought her anything extravagant, she panicked about it, which is like so fair, because like I can imagine. I mean, the idea of dating a billionaire is great. Don't let me lie to you. But if somebody
stuff all the time,
like legitimately, if someone were to buy me that much stuff, I would be like, okay, like I feel like I need to repay this. I physically can't afford it. Imagine every like significant other that you've had, and think about how long you've been together and how long it took you to realize that they're flawed.
They're not spending like close time together either, because they're dating and they're only going out on. Like, he's still in the trying to impress you phase, and it's not him being real.
Lighting change. We're outside at a hotel. We're already talking about a super unrealistic situation, but like, how amazing would it be if it were to happen? That's great. Billionaires with a B, in my experience, I have none. I feel like they'd be more money savvy and might not purchase 94 rings.
She said yes to his proposal, and she agreed to marry him. And then after he offered the 94 rings, he offered the deed to her dream house, and then she freaked out. To him, it was like out of nowhere, because he was like, "Oh, I'm going to give you." I want to marry you, and I want to give you this future that I know that you've told me that you won't.
Like, he's already showing that he doesn't know like what you like, and then he buys her dream house, and he's like tailored it to her, and she doesn't know that. She doesn't know that at the time, and I think that would have made her freak out even more. But she says no after that. She's like, no, I gotta get away from you. You're a crazy man. After him buying her a coffee shop, multiple rings, like diamonds, like all these crazy things that were ridiculously expensive. Like, obviously, he's gonna buy you the house. Yeah, these are like our big cons of the book. Enough to ruin the plot. Like, to the point where we were like, oh, I might be ready to put this down and like not finish.
I think my biggest disappointment was she said yes to being engaged with him. She said yes to marry him. And then 2 minutes later, when he offered her that deed to the house, she just declined and ran away. And she didn't give him any reasoning of why she was running away. Why are you going to say yes to a man and then like run away?
The miscommunication trope. I hate it.
Third act. Like, thing that pulls the main couple apart.
Why does that have to be
and then
miscommunication?
they come back stronger than ever. But if she had just like communicated her feelings about like, oh, why did you buy that house for me? I really wanted to earn that house on my own. No issues. But instead she ran away, and then fast forward 2 years later, they finally run into each other again, and all is well as soon as they see each other. Like, I feel like even like if you're gonna say yes to a man to be married, even if you're upset with him and you need to run away, you're not gonna wait 2 years. You're gonna find him and you're gonna communicate. Books are unrealistic. But I do think there's a better way. Like, the author should have written the issues between the main couple that tore them apart a little bit better.
Ruined Parker's character development.
Yeah, personally, my issue was not with Parker. I think my issue was with Elle. I think that Elle was not great at communicating. Elle was not great at expressing her emotions. And I do think that they give you some backstory about her issues with her dad and how her dad was controlling with money with her mom. But at the same time, like, she took it to the extreme. If she was being as emotionally unavailable as she was, then Parker should have said something. I rated the book 3 out of 5, and Maddie
rated it 3 out of 5.
The book was great for the first 3/4 of the book.
I really loved it. I really loved it.
Yeah, it was great. There were so many great adventures and banter and everything that happened in the book. It was just that last little bit of conflict at the end.
I wanted to
throw it up for us.
I really hope that our next chapters, Chaos and Cocktails read, is a lot better than this one. Okay, but thank you for listening to our whole review. You're amazing. I love you.
Thank you for being here.
Bye.
See you next time.